Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dane, your host. I hope you're doing well wherever you may find yourselves. Blessings to all, and welcome to another episode where I talk about my top favorite album runs of all time. Today is episode number 14, which means this is ranking number 7. So we're getting very close to the top 5. A little anecdote here. This is a band that I discovered late, and by late I mean not until 2 months after I graduate from high school, so I'm 18 or 18 and a half. And this was a band that I knew of but had never heard their music, because if we go back in time to when I'm 11, 12, 13 years old, pretty much a preteen, going into Smith's record store right here in the suburbs, Metairie on the outside of New Orleans, going into Smith's record store in Lakeside Mall and looking at these album covers and going, who on earth is this band? And one album cover has the band on them in black and white. I'm like, ooh, this looks like a band I might, because when you're young, you judge an album by its cover. Can't do that, though, right? We've learned that lesson, many of us, if not all of us, at some point. So flash back to when I'm 18. I'm out with my friends. I'm old enough to drink now, having graduated from high school. We go out to the lakefront, go shoot some pool, hang out, drink, that sort of thing. And the song comes out the jukebox. And it's a song I never heard before, and it's extremely heavy for what was heavy back then. And the whole song is wonderful. The lyrics are great. The vocals are great. And I discovered the lyrics later. Some of it I got, of course. And then the guitar solo kicks in, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta know who this is. But unfortunately, no one working that night knew who this was. I guess the owner did, because they usually deal with jukebox things, I guess. But anyway, so as soon as I can, with my allowance, I'm not working yet. That comes a couple months later. I buy this on vinyl, and the only song that I would touch on this record was the song that I heard in the jukebox. And then months go by, and then, of course, I listen to the album, and I'm like, I've been missing this all this time. And, of course, I'm talking about another British band, and I'm talking about UFO. 9 albums here. Almost included a 10th, but I decided not to, because it just isn't up to snuff with the rest of the discography here, even though I do like much of what's on that 10th record. And it's a change in direction for the band. So I remember being 11, 12, 13, as I said, and looking at these album covers. Phenomenon, Force It, No Heavy Petting, No Place to Run. That's the black and white cover, right? They're, standing outside the gas station, right by the pumps. Mechanics, and Making Contact were the ones I remembered at Smith's record store. It's the only place I saw these records. So how fortuitous was that? So let's talk about this record. This is my favorite, by the way. The first song, Oh My, a nice rocker, and it's not UFO at their best, but even as a deep cut, it's still, I think, quite good. I would rank this an 8 out of 10 song. That's how much I like it. Then you get the wonderful Crystal Light. This is a song that when I first heard it, I liked, but I wouldn't say until I was like in my 20s that I really, and goosebumps, see? So it's so compelling and moving, the overall song, the tone of the vocals, the phrasing, the tone of all the instruments, especially Phil's voice and especially the guitar here. It's just so emotional. And then next you have a song that inspired Iron Maiden, one of many from this band, Iron Maiden. Steve Harris, big fans of UFO, Def Leppard as well. The song Doctor Doctor, which I like quite a bit, but as years have gone by, it's no longer one of my top 10 favorites, but I still quite like the song. Next is Space Child. And then you have Rock Bottom. Let me say a couple things about these two songs. I remember in an interview, Michael Schenker was talking about, or it was Phil actually, maybe, one of them two, I think it was Phil now that I think of it, he was saying that when they were first, diving into their new sound, because the first 2 albums are space rock, this is where they came into their own, this is where they found their signature sound, right? And Phil was saying that a lot of the songs they would compose would begin with Michael Schenker's guitar solo, and they would build a song around that. And I'm convinced, even though I can't prove it because he didn't mention what songs, that Space Child and Rock Bottom are 2 of those songs. There's just something about the vibe that those songs give that gives you that taste, that in your mouth, so to speak, or in your ears, that these were built around the solos, because the solos are so amazing. And they're both different. Space Child is another compelling song. I can't believe I wasted months not listening to. There are 10 tracks here, 9 of them, and this is my second favorite song on the album. It's mostly the guitar solo and then not a whole lot of lyrics, right? But at the beginning and end, and that's the it. And that's it. Excuse me. And Space Child is just so riveting because you want to know more. Who is this Space Child? You know, who turns and faces the lie, and as he, the other lyrics are, after laughter was caught in his throat as he died. It's just it's sad, and yet it's such a gravitational pull type song. So anyway, Space Child is wonderful. This is an 11 out of 10 song for me. Rock Bottom is an 11 out of 10 song, 11 being the highest. This is the song that I heard in the jukebox that I was like, who is this? I got to know who this is. And then I went out and got it. And what's great about the song is you have this mysterious lyrics. Again, the whole band is dynamite here. And part of the lyrics that are mysterious is just one kiss on your cold clay lips. But the heart of this song, of course, is the guitar solo. And I remember being so excited when I first sat down and started watching the TV show Supernatural, in like the third or fourth episode into season 1. I think it's the third episode with the Wendigo, that opening scene, the boys are driving Impala down the road, Blacktop Road, and the song they're playing. And I was like, wow. And that's what stuck with me, and I watched it from beginning to end because of that, probably. And of course, the stories and all that. But that had part to do with it. And then I had to go back and watch the other 2 episodes because that was the episode that said, oh, I got to stick around for this. So what's interesting about the guitar solo is just when you think Schenker has hit his stride with the guitar solo and he's reached his final gear, nope, there's another gear. And it gets more aggressive. Then there's another gear. It gets more aggressive. Then there's another, and it keeps going. And then finally, it goes back to the riff that starts with the beginning. So it comes full circle. What a great song. Next, you have Too Young to Know. This is a fun song. I like it. The dangers of falling in love with certain young women, right? Kind of like No, No, No on Def Leppard, perhaps. I haven't looked at the lyrics in a while, but stay away from certain people, right? You could ruin your life. And no is a pun, should be K-N-O-W. And then you got, as compelling as Crystal Light is, equally as compelling is Time on My Hands, Been Drinking with a Soldier Boy. Very sad song. It's wonderful, though. It's great. Very cathartic. Then you got the Willie Dixon cover song, Built for Comfort. It's great. He's not talking about a car. He's talking about sex, of course. Then you get the short and sweet instrumental Lipstick Traces, which essentially is a prelude or introduction to the next song, Queen of the Deep, which is an underrated masterpiece of a song. What a great way to end the record. I love the way this song is orchestrated and composed, rather, and put together. Again, the band sounds wonderful. The best part about the song is anticipating how the song ends, where there's that moment of even more heaviness. It's hard to describe. And I can imagine before this happens, the band is turned around, and when that happens, they turn around and face you, kind of thing. I know it's silliness, but anyway, Queen of the Deep it's a light and shade song, and most of the shade is at the end. And it's very brief, unfortunately, but at the same time, it makes you anticipate as soon as you put that song on to want to hear it. Phil singing Heaven Knows as the first opening line. Just great song. Next is a sophomore effort. Got to have a great sophomore effort. Is the pun entitled Force It, Get It, Faucet. And there are days where these two compete for which is the mightier with respect to my favorite, but it is this one. One of the greatest album pairs of all time. This is almost the greatest hits album. You have Let It Roll, one of the hits off the album. Shoot, Shoot as well. Both heavy tracks. High Flyer, bit of a ballady type, light and shade type song. It's wonderful. Love Lost Love is a song I sometimes skip, but it is a very good song. Out in the Streets, typical UFO fare with respect to lyrics about, being out in the streets, having a good time, or causing trouble, getting into trouble, having trouble getting out of it, or getting someone to help you, or being mischievous, right? And then my favorite song on the album is Mother Mary. Great song. I love the lyrics. Mother Mary, Won't You Try to Understand, A Wild Colonial Boy. And I was in a cover band, albeit very briefly, in my 30s. And we changed the lyrics to Mother Mary, Won't You Try to Help to Understand, A Wild New Orleans Boy. And the few people that came to see us play, or practice rather, love that. So it encouraged us, but the band didn't last very long. So anyway, my favorite song, Mother Mary, on the album, probably my top 5 favorite songs of all time. Too Much of Nothing is, I think, an underrated gem. It's wonderful. Dance Your Life Away is surprisingly a very good song, even though you don't think of UFO talking about dancing, but it is a good song. Then you get This Kid's, including Between the Walls, a little light and shade. This Kid's is the heavy part, and then it ends with the emotionally driven instrumental component of that, which is wonderful. And then you got the bonus track. You got bonus tracks here, but the only one I'll mention is an previous unreleased track called A Million Miles, which is kind of a tune that's, kind of like Time on My Hands. It's depressing and sad, but so emotionally riveting and good. What a great album. Next is the Weird Album cover, No Heavy Petting. I'm trying to imagine why the tube doesn't touch. But the tube's supposed to go into the back of her head. I don't know. Anyway, excuse me, there are the Boys. And gosh, the print is so small. A little tinny in some of the songs here with respect to the piano, but I still like it. Natural Thing, some people, fans and critics, like it poo-pooed on this album. I like it. Natural Thing, I think, is a great rocker. I'm a Loser is quite good. Those are the 2 hits off the album. Actually, number 3 as well as a hit, Can You Roll Her? Then you get the 4th track, Belladonna, which is a sleeper song. In other words, it's an underrated gem. Dealing with, the type of woman who is dangerous, perhaps dealing also with the poison itself, it grows on trees and kind of thing that witches used. It's a pun of a song, I guess. I haven't listened to the lyrics read the lyrics in a while. Then you get Reasons Love. It's an okay song. Highway Lady, I think. Excuse me. Am I misreading something here? Might be a misprint. Highway Lady is a very good song. Sorry. On With the Action, another hit 4-song one here. They played all these live, those 4 songs. Natural Thing, I'm a Loser, Can You Roll Her, and On With the Action. Some people have said this is a kind of a banal, boring song. I like it. To each his own. A Fool in Love, I think it's a great song. And Martian Landscape, kind of harking back to their space rock days. I like it. All right, so this is not as good as the first 2, but it's close. You got 4 wonderful hits on here. All right, next is the album often cited as a lot of people's favorite. I think this would be my 3rd favorite after the first and the second album, talking about Lights Out. Too Hot to Handle, a hit, wonderful. Just Another, You Know What, is a good song. Try Me, underrated masterpiece. There's live versions of this, which are fabulous. Lights Out, of course, the title track is wonderful. Getting Ready is a really good song. Alone Again Or, love this song, whether this version or The Damned, both are cover versions. Great love song. Electric Phase and then Love to Love were the next 2 tracks, but really Electric Phase is an intro to Love in the same vein that This Kid's is an instrumental. This Kid's is a tie into the instrumental part that is Between the Walls, except it's reversed. Now you have, so for This Kid you have the heavy part, then the instrumental. This part you have the instrumental Electric Phase, and then Love to Love, which is a love ballad, and you have some wonderful strings accompanying things, and boy, Phil's voice is just dynamite here. Goosebumps. Man, it is, I can't get enough of this song. This is my favorite song on the album, and then Lights Out will be number 2, and then Too Hot to Handle. Those are my 3 favorite songs, and then Alone Again Or and Try Me are in the second tier of that. All right, next is sometimes the neglected gem in the discography, and that is Obsession. Only You Can Rock Me, hit off the album. Pack It Up and Go. I don't know if this was a hit, but it was a fan favorite of so many, including myself. Arbury Hill, my least favorite track, but it is a good song. Ain't No Baby, I love this song. Looking Out for Number One, great song, I think. Hot and Ready, a hit off the album. Cherry, another hit off the album. I'm not a big fan of songs where the song title's a woman's name, but I love when UFO does it. More of that later. You Don't Fool Me is okay. Looking Out for Number One, Reprise is good. One More for the Rodeo, love this song. And then Born to Lose is amazing, I think. What a way to end an album. This is a great album. Like these two are. I go with this one. This is I like more than this, but this is close to this one. So, all right. Next, we get a change in the guard, guitar player wise. As you know, Michael Schenker leaves to go solo, form MSG, Assault Attack, Graham Bonnet, etc. I may have the vocals wrong. Not a big Michael Schenker solo stuff. Actually, his first album is just Michael Schenker Group, where he's in an electric chair or whatever, right? Looks like a scene from Marathon Man, right? Perhaps. Anyway, I love this album cover. And you have Paul Tonka Chapman taking over the guard, as I said, for Schenker. And boy, what a great album. You have the wonderful instrumental Alpha Centauri that is a lead up to Letting Go. And that is just a great, heavy song. Then you get the Elvis cover Mystery Train, or Elvis covered someone else. Regardless, Mystery Train is phenomenal. This Fire Burns Tonight, typical fanfare you get with respect to lyrics of what you expect Phil to sing about. Lost love, out in the streets kind of vibe. Gone Tonight, there you go, out in the night. This is about lost love, of course. Then Young Blood is an okay song. It's really not that all good. It's okay. No Place to Run, title track is phenomenal. Take It or Leave It, almost as equally as phenomenal. Money's okay. And Any Day is amazing. It's a heavy UFO song. Any Day. It's great. I'm going to have to listen to this later. All right, what a great album. Especially changing the guard, right? And then you get introduction to where they change in style a little bit, because listening to Bruce Springsteen, which I'm not a big fan of, they introduce, the saxophone in their music. It's okay. This is a very good album because of songs like Chains. Great song. It's keeping in tune with everything that followed before. And a lot of people have panned this album, critics and fans alike. Long Gone is fast in many ways and heavy for UFO. It's great. The Wild, the Willing, and the Innocent title track is different, but it's good. It's got the saxophone, but I like it. It's Killing Me is quite good. Making Moves is quite good. Lonely Heart is amazing. Couldn't Get It Right, we all relate to that, is amazing. And Profession of Violence is okay. I wish they'd put Couldn't Get It Right at the end, but, close enough. This is a great album. All right, next is Mechanics. Very much like its predecessor, panned often by critics and fans alike, but I think he keeps the same stride, or almost the same stride, of everything that came before. Now, side 2 is the stronger part, but I still like side 1. You get The Writer, which is an interesting tune. You wouldn't think that UFO would write about something like that, but they do, and they do it quite well. Something Else is quite good. Back Into My Life, you get that. That's a great song. You'll Get Love is a wonderful piece. Doing It All For You, I think, has its merits. It's not a great song, but it's very good. And then side 2, We Belong to the Night. There we go, songs about the night. Wonderful, and relationships, right? Let It Rain, great ballad. And then Terry, underrated gem. Terry is to this album what Cherry is to Obsession. Feel It's a good song, and then Dreaming, a very good song as well. Love this album. Album cover sucks. Love this album. Then finally, number 9, cover up the buttocks here. You get Making Contact. I always would see these two in the store. Oops. And go, what on earth is this band about, right? And some of the other ones I showed you. Well, again, I think this keeps up with the stride that came before, or close enough. Blinded by a Lie has that signature UFO sound. Great song. Same thing, Diesel in the Dust. Signature sound we expect from UFO, and yet, like the previous one or two, critics and fans panned it alike. A Fool for Love, I think, is a great song. You and Me's okay. Then you get the wonderful heavy song, When It's Time to Rock, keeping, again, in stride with what came before. The Way the Wild Wind Blows, it's a good song. Call My Name is okay. All Over You and No Getaway, I think, are good songs. They're solid. They're not great, but they're good songs. And then Push It's Love, I think, is fantastic. So, aside from the horrible album cover, once again, this is a very good album. So there you have it, folks. 9 albums. The last 2 are very good. Last 3 are very good. And then this, masterpiece. Masterpiece. Quick. Not a masterpiece, but very good. Masterpiece. Masterpiece. Close to being a masterpiece. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye now.